Did you know that in 1931, a German doctor called Otto Warburg won the Nobel Prize for discovering the cause and the cure for cancer? Dr. Warburg was nominated for the Nobel Prize a total of 47 times in his life and was recognized as a genius in his field, with Albert Einstein among his close friends. His findings were incredibly simple, yet conveniently swept under the carpet in the decades that followed, as the pharmaceutical industry grew in power, influence, and profitability. So what did Dr. Warburg discover? He discovered that a cancer cell is not fueled by oxygen, like all the healthy cells in your body are, but instead it gets its energy from the fermentation of sugar. So when healthy cells are consistently not getting the amount of oxygen they need, rather than starve and die, they mutate in order to survive, and they adapt to an alternative food source that is not oxygen. So a healthy cell that is receiving insufficient oxygen simply changes its food source to a substance that has progressively become more and more abundant in our diets over the past 100 years: sugar. This includes long-chain sugars, also known as complex carbohydrates, i.e. grain and cereal products and starches. So the cell changes its food supply from oxygen to sugar simply to survive. And this change in fuel creates a change in its behavior and its function. It no longer gives energy and vitality to the parent organism of the body like a healthy cell does, but instead it sucks in energy and depletes the body's life force in the process. In very simplistic terms, you could imagine a healthy cell to be like a sun, which burns oxygen and radiates a tremendous amount of energy, giving life in the process. A cancer cell could be seen as a black hole, which grows larger as it feeds ravenously, consuming all the energy from the surrounding cells, and thus encouraging them to also become ravenous in their consumptive behavior. Each cancer cell behaves like a drug addict, always craving more and never being satisfied, making itself sicker in the process. It desires only that which it is addicted to, i.e. sugars, rather than that which it needs, i.e. oxygen. The only hope for that cell is to surround it with what it really needs to heal and to remove the substance that is keeping it in addiction. Now let's imagine that for some bizarre reason, a healthy human being decided that they wanted to encourage the growth of cancer in their body. Now obviously nobody would want to do this, but it helps to illustrate an important point. This would be a remarkably easy process, as they would just need to create the right conditions in their body. So firstly, this person would need to reduce the amount of oxygen in their system. They would do this by, number one, spending as little time as possible outdoors breathing fresh air. Number two, being as inactive as possible. Number three, adopting shallow and irregular breathing habits. And number four, severely reducing the quality of their blood, because our blood is a delivery system for oxygen in our body. So after following these 4 steps to reduce the amount of oxygen in their system, they would then need to maximize the amount of sugar and carbohydrates in their diet, thus providing the perfect opportunity for healthy cells to change their food supply. The cells are guaranteed to adapt in this way if they are deprived of oxygen and exposed to an abundance of sugars via the blood. The first warning signs in your body of this cellular adaptation occurring is increased tiredness and a lack of energy. When your cells are not getting enough oxygen, you feel tired and sleepy. Ironically, so many people reach for an energy-boosting snack or drink when they feel this way, but this is literally the worst thing to do because you are putting more sugar into your system and getting your cells accustomed to relying on sugar as a means of feeling more alert and awake. It is usually oxygenation we need, and often hydration also. As an experiment, the next time you feel tired or sleepy during the day, instead of having a snack or a snooze, go outside and breathe fresh air for a few minutes. Also drink some water and, if possible, move your body to increase the circulation of oxygen via your blood. You are guaranteed to feel more energized, alert and awake if you do this. We are all in need of greater oxygenation, and the good news is that it is completely free. It nourishes us on the most fundamental level possible, and it makes us feel more alive and connected to the goodness of life in the process. You see, another problem with relying on sugars and carbs to give you more energy is that you feel tired again when they leave your bloodstream, and thus a vicious cycle is created. Tiredness makes you crave sugar and carbs. Sugar and carbs lead to more tiredness. More tiredness leads to you creating more sugar and carbs, and so on and so forth. It is the constant repetition of this cycle over years that conditions our cells to rely on sugar for energy instead of oxygen. Fundamentally, this is why cancer proliferates in our society to the extent that it does. So it is imperative we reverse this situation within our own body by abandoning sugar and carb-based snacks and meals and getting our bodies used to receiving its energy from fresh air and outdoor activity. Accompany this with a vegetable-based, mineral-rich diet to keep your blood strong and healthy, and you are on course for a disease-free life of excellent health. So going back to what I mentioned previously, let's assume you are not a person who wants to encourage the growth of cancer in your body. Let's assume that you are a person who is keen to do whatever is necessary to reduce the likelihood of cancer and to remain in perfect health. All you need to do is the exact opposite of the steps that I mentioned previously. Number 1, spend as much time as possible outdoors breathing fresh air. Number 2, be as physically active as possible. Number 3, get in the habit of breathing more fully and deeply, even when you're inactive. Number 4, maximize the quality of your blood through a mineral-rich, alkaline, i.e. vegetable-based, diet. Number 5, have as little sugar and complex carbohydrates in your diet as possible. In the cellular environment of your body, you can either create the conditions for health or the conditions for illness. If you give your cells everything they need and avoid toxifying them with things they don't need, you will enjoy excellent health for sure. But if you are indisciplined about taking proper care of your body, you will not avoid the many subtle and significant consequences of doing so. So the big question is, are you willing to become more disciplined in order to prevent or even reverse illness and disease in your body? Now, please don't take this question lightly, because the statistics about cancer are growing more ominous by the year. It is getting to the point where 1 in 3 people are likely to be diagnosed with cancer at some point in their life. And we always think it won't be us until it is. You have the power to make choices that will keep you in good health for the rest of your life, and I encourage you to make them. Have you ever spoken to someone who had cancer? Do you know how frightening it is to be told that cancer is spreading through your body? Now, I don't mean to worry you, only alert you to the vital fact that your body and your cells need certain care in order to remain in good health. And most people are not aware of the finer details of the care their body needs. Oxygen provision is the crux of this care. If you do everything you can to maximize the provision of oxygen to the cells of your body, and you steadily improve your diet so that you're removing unnecessary foods that don't contribute to good health, then you will surely reap the profound benefits on many, many levels. The findings of Dr. Otto Warburg are, in my opinion, the most important ever made in the field of health. They are so elementary, yet fundamental to the cellular well-being of our body. So I encourage you to begin experimenting today and experience the delightful consequences of taking the very best care of yourself on the cellular level. Reread the 5 steps listed above and research proper nutrition through my website, alexanderbell.org. Once you get a taste of superior health and realize how easy it is to feel the way you want to feel, A passion will be fueled inside of you, and you'll want to become more and more sensitive to your body's subtle needs. You'll want to make the decisions that bring you a greater feeling of health, positivity, and wellness. You'll want to be more disciplined about what substances you put in your body, because your body rewards you for doing so. The process of giving your body exactly what it needs on a cellular level is a very nourishing and joy-filled process. It is a process of healing that also affects us emotionally, mentally, and spiritually. It is a process that we all need to go through. Yet often, people only embark on it when they are forced to do so by illness. So let me encourage you now to embark on this journey by choice, because you will never, ever regret taking better and better care of yourself. And as you grow in health, strength, and joy, you will want to share your light with others and encourage others to embark on their own journey of healing and self-love, which is ultimately what this is all about.